Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for coming by. Welcome to Align Plans. So today we're going to be talking about my top recommendations for accessories that I think, in my opinion, are a must-have. So we're going to go over at least my top 5 favorite things that I end up using pretty regularly. And I think that this will be ideal for those of you that are brand new to minimalist planning, or you're just kind of getting started, or you're switching from another system and you're not sure, okay, what would make the biggest difference? What would make the biggest bang for my buck? Because honestly, buying all the things, as much as it is tempting, that's not really minimalist. At least it's not minimalist on our budget and on our wallets. So I thought that I would just share the most functional things that I have found that has been helpful and useful. So if that sounds good, then why don't we just dive right in? And of course, if this is the first time that we're meeting today, hello. I'm so glad that you are here. My name is Meshi and I'm the person behind Align Plans. Consider subscribing if you have not yet already. We chat at least twice a week. We chat on Tuesdays and on Saturdays. And we talk about anything and everything minimalist planning. We go into the details of what makes the biggest difference. We do unboxing, we do hauls, we do all the things. So if that sounds good, if that's your jam, you would probably really like it here. Okay, let's begin with my first recommendation. Number 1, I'm gonna go into sticky notes. I know, it's kind of a shocker. I didn't think that I would have a thing for sticky notes, but here we are having this conversation. So I have a few recommendations here. These are from Cloth and Paper, and these 3 are from, this is the exact same thing, so it's Cafe Misto. This is from Papery Planning. The reason why I like sticky notes, and I didn't think I would, so here we are. The reason why I really love them is because on a normal spread, it breaks up your spread, okay? So what it does is when you're looking at like everything kind of blends in, which is kind of what's lovely about minimalist planning. But when you want some details to kind of stick out and really catch your attention as soon as you open your week, then sticky notes are a fantastic way of doing that. So here we are, here's an example of that, and I will show you guys a close-up as well. But what you can use these for is almost like extra, you can write down chores, you can write down extra reminders, like there's a million and one ways that you can use them. You can keep them on your dividers, and you can use them as a way to use it as like a brain dump or something where you kind of wanted to keep track of things, but then you're not sure like where to place it, or you just don't have the time to like write it in your to-do list. So there's a million and one uses for it. So these are paper based. So obviously you can use whatever pen you want. You can use highlighter. It's, you know, obviously it's paper. The other option is that you can use translucent sticky notes. Translucent sticky notes are like a beast on their own. So the way that you can use these, and some people really love them. I don't reach for these nearly as often as I reach for just the normal sticky notes, but I'll show you what it can look like on your spread. Hang on, let me open it. So here's an example of the sticky notes that I mentioned, and see like how it just pops right out. So translucent ones, you can kind of use it as an overlay. You can use them as an overlay for privacy, or you can use them as an overlay to add like a category to whatever section you're kind of writing it into. So they're perfect for that. And then another one that you can also use is little tracker sticky notes. Tracker sticky notes are, again, a great way to kind of save some time if you are trying to keep track of, I don't know, like this one is a mood tracker, but you can use them in multiple ways. There's also one for wellness. If you wanted to keep track of your hydration, or if you wanted to keep track of your exercise program, having a little sticky note that has the full week on there, and it kind of saves you some space from having to write it out and having to kind of fit it anywhere. Here it's movable. You put it at the top, you put it right where your week begins. That's why I really like it, because it's just something so small and compact and functional. So having things like that can really make a difference in what kind of pops on your weekly or on your daily spreads. Now let's move on. Let's move on to icons. So icons are I really like icons, but I don't want you to get caught up in the idea that you need all the icons. So I would keep it at the bare bone basics. So these are lifestyle icons that I have from Cloth and Paper, and some of them I use regularly, some I never reach for. So like shopping, I don't really use. Cleaning, again, sometimes I keep track of them in my Hobonichi, but as you can tell, you can already see exactly what the issue is. It is so micro. So if you want something tiny, they're fantastic. I personally prefer actually these. This is from Hey Planner Girl. This is from Sticker Page. I have some papery planning and some color cafe. So really, like, if you look around on Etsy, you will find something for you. But finance is absolutely a must-have. If you're keeping track of, like, if this is your catch-all where you keep track of everything, having finance stickies or having finance transparent icons is a must-have. You can keep track of not only the bills that you have to pay, but things that are due. If you don't have like a separate spread that's dedicated to finance, I end up using this all the time. The other one that I use pretty often is actually workout ones, because I like to kind of keep track of what type of workouts I'm doing. That was, of course, before I had like the sticky notes that we just received from Cloth and Paper. So as I receive certain things, and obviously it, like, my preference somewhat changes, but I kind of go back to always the basics. So having things like this is yoga related and this one is more cardio related. So I would kind of look at the type of workouts that you do, and this is a great motivator where you're looking at your daily to-do list and you see that, okay, great, today is, you know, weights day, or tomorrow we're doing biking or cardio. The other one that I have, so I have one obviously for social media for obvious reasons. I'm not even going to go into that. The other one that I bought just recently that I absolutely love is actually a watering. It's a watering can, because with plants, as we're moving into spring and summer, it's like this whole thing. So I want to make sure that I'm on top of actually the watering schedule a little bit better, and I can also delegate it to my kids. And then I have this tiny one that I just recently picked up from Papery Planning. This has all sorts of hearts and Valentine's Day themes. The reason why I actually love this is because I keep track of date nights. So this is what I use whenever we go on date nights. If it's dinner, if it's movies, whatever, then I would just use like this tiny little mini icon, not micro. What's wrong with you? This is a mini icon on my monthly or on my daily. So that's kind of why I really love them. They can really make your life easier, but honestly, I don't want you to feel like it's like they're very functional. They make your life so much easier. So take it as you will. But none of them are like, oh, you can't live without it. You know what I mean? Let's move on to staying still with stickies. And let's say that you want to just keep your spread completely minimal, as in like nothing's on there. And here's some examples of the little icons. Again, here's the other one. Here's some stickies. Let's say that you wanted to keep your spread as bare bone basics as possible. Then here's my two recommendations. Either get like clean color dot markers, or just get dots and basic shapes. Now, pros and cons with both. Super quick and functional and easy. You can come back to it anytime. Obviously, you just grab it and use it. Here with the dots, it gives you a nice and clean and consistent look. You can also, if you buy something like this where you have like a theme, and if you wanted to use this theme for the 2 pages, then it kind of gives you the variety that you might be looking for. And it kind of keeps things interesting, because then you're not looking at the exact same color. Here, yes, I understand that here I use the same color, but if you didn't want it to do that, then it gives you variety, because you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colors to choose from. So themed dot stickers are fantastic for that. If you just want to keep it like nice and smooth and consistent, then go with mini or just the normal size dots, and they will last you for a while. Keep in mind, when you're buying sticker sheets, one of these will go a long way. So just don't go crazy with it. Even one of these will go a long way. And this looks like nothing. Look how small this is. But anyway, so you can keep it very minimalistic. The other thing that I like about the markers as well is that you can use them for categories. So if you have, like, let's say 4 different colors, and I think that you guys have seen me use this with my cleaning schedule, where I have like a different color for each kid, and then I kind of color coordinate it. You can do the same thing on your daily spreads. The only downfall with this, with any of these markers, honestly, is just the simple fact that sometimes it's hard to keep the size of the dots consistent. So as long as you're okay with it, then these are a really great alternative, and then you don't end up with a ton of stickers. Let's move on to the next one, and this kind of goes hand in hand with icons. So we talked about icons, that I think that they're fantastic, which I still stand by it. It gives you the unique look, and it makes things kind of pop. If you're looking at my current spread, here's the current spread, and I kind of wanted to include a little bit of everything, where you have a little bit of deco, and you have a little bit of highlighting, and then you have obviously the icon stickers. So I have some icons here, I have some icons here. Alternatively, if you don't want to invest in stickers, then you can just invest in stencils. This one, both of these are actually from Hobonichi. No, actually, this is Midori, this is Hobonichi. And you have like these tiny little shapes, which is fantastic. This one is obviously a little bit more flimsy, but it's still like, it's honestly, it's one of my favorites. And then it gives you some basic shapes like walk, car, home, work. You get the picture. And then it gives you some squiggly lines. So it's kind of like a little bit of everything. And Midori, this one is made out of brass. Again, it gives you all of the basic shapes. So if you don't want to invest in dot stickers, or stickers are just not your thing, then this would be a nice, beautiful little alternative, and then you can customize it however you want. So again, you have like some travel ones, you have some home ones, you have weather, and then you have like some functional ones like the key, note, phone, and mail. So there you go. So these are like both alternatives, and here's what it looks like in action. So this one is the home icon. Let me see where else I used it. This is another place where I used it, and honestly, I really love how it's just so simple. Like if you just wanted to keep your spread as one color, no dots, none of that, you just want to come in and just use your check marks, it's a great way to really use that. Okay. And then last but not least, the last thing that I wanted to mention is if you didn't want to go on any of those routes, if you didn't want any decor, if you didn't want any of these accent stickers, any sticky notes, anything like that, but you wanted a splash of color, I would highly recommend something like the Tombow pens. And whether you go with Tombow or my liners or any of the soft pastel highlighters, I mean, I have quite a few. This one is from Monami. Monami has some really beautiful colors. Obviously, like a full collection from my liners. I don't have any on my desk at the present moment, but you've probably seen them in work. Right now, like this is what I'm loving, so this is what I'm actually going to recommend. Just having some soft pastel colors. So I have like the soft gray. I have this that looks like pink, but it's actually like this peachy off like skin color. And then we have like this dark burgundy type color, which I'm like obsessed with on a general basis. So you can just get a few of them. You don't need like a full kit. If you buy like any of their collection, honestly, like it's actually way more worth it for your money, but don't feel obligated that you need to buy a full kit. Sometimes all you need is a couple of highlighters and then you're good to go. And you can highlight the day, or you can highlight the sections that you really want to stand out, and it makes a big difference because then it just adds a little splash of something, but then it still makes it pretty clean and clear and functional. Okay, I think this is all I wanted to share with you for today. Please let me know what your favorite accessory is that you cannot live without. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to the channel if you have not yet already, and just keep planning, you guys. And I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye.